Brooks Koepka just said something in Canada that every PGA Tour player did not want to hear, and it changes everything. Before we get into this, if you're new here, welcome to Analysis PGA, the channel that goes deeper than the highlights. Hit subscribe and the bell right now, because this story is just getting started, and trust me, by the end of this video, you'll want to be here for what comes next. Brooks Koepka is back on the PGA Tour. And no, not everyone is happy about it. For months, the golf world has been asking one very uncomfortable question. What do the players inside that locker room actually think about one of LIV Golf's biggest stars just walking back in? Because let's be clear, this wasn't some fringe player who quietly slipped away. This was Koepka, 5 major championships. One of the most feared names in the sport. He left in June 2022, made himself at home in the Saudi-backed league, won 5 times, and by all accounts, loved every second of it. So why is he back? And more importantly, how is the tour really reacting? Stick with me, because in a few minutes I'm going to show you the one detail about Koepka's return that most people completely missed, and it might be the reason this whole thing hasn't blown up yet. When Koepka jumped LIV in 2022, the reaction was brutal. Players who stayed on tour felt betrayed. Some had turned down life-changing money to remain loyal. Others watched their former colleagues disappear for guaranteed contracts worth tens of millions. And Koepka didn't just leave. He thrived. 5 wins, global exposure, 0 regrets, at least publicly. But 2025 was different. His form dipped. Questions started swirling. And then, December 2025, he walks away from LIV. 3 weeks later, he's back on the PGA Tour. Now here's where it gets interesting, and this is the moment I want you to pay close attention to. After his opening round in Canada this week, a reporter asked Koepka the exact question millions of fans were thinking. Have any players confronted you? Has anyone told you they didn't want you here? His answer? Surprisingly honest. He said it's been great. Players have been extremely receptive, and the message he keeps hearing in that locker room is a resentment. It's we're glad you're back. Now, is that the full story? No, and I'll tell you why in just a second. Drop a comment right now. Do you think the players genuinely mean it when they say they're happy to see Koepka back? Or is that just locker room politics? I read every single comment. Let me know. Here's the part the mainstream coverage glossed over, and this is critical to understanding why the reception has been as warm as it has. Koepka didn't just waltz back in. The PGA Tour made him pay, literally, $5 million. Donated to charity. That was the price of admission. But the financial hit wasn't even the most significant part. Professionally, he came back with restrictions. No automatic entry into signature events. No special exemptions. He has to qualify like everyone else. And every time he enters a tournament, an extra spot is added to the field. So no existing member loses their place because of him. Think about what that signals to the rest of the locker room. This wasn't a handout. This was accountability. And players noticed. Not everyone was ready to move on. Though, Lucas Glover was one of the most vocal. He openly questioned whether LIV players should be allowed back, and his concerns reflected what a lot of players were quietly thinking but not saying out loud. If you left, should the door just stay open forever? Does loyalty mean nothing? Those are fair questions. And honestly, they don't have easy answers. But Koepka's conduct since returning has been doing the talking for him. By the way, if you're finding this breakdown valuable, now is a great time to hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel grow and gets this analysis in front of more golf fans who want the real story, not just the surface-level highlights. Here's the part of the story I find most fascinating, and it says a lot about where Koepka's head is at right now. There have been days where Koepka has shown up at a tournament as an alternate, waiting, watching, hoping someone withdraws so he can get in. This is a 5-time major champion, one of the most recognizable faces in professional golf. And he's sitting in a waiting room like a rookie trying to make his card. He hasn't complained. He hasn't made demands. He's just waited. That kind of humility doesn't go unnoticed inside a locker room. It earns respect. And it sends a message that he's not here to take shortcuts. He's here to earn it back. So where's his game at? Honestly, closer than people realize. Ball striking has looked sharp. His overall game has shown serious flashes of major caliber golf. The one thing keeping him out of the winner's circle right now? The putter. It's been cold at exactly the wrong moments. But here's the thing, and keep this in mind for later. Koepka has always been a player who elevates in the biggest moments, when his putter catches up the rest of his game. Look out! And now here's the question that nobody is talking about loudly enough yet, but they should be. What if Koepka is just the first one? Because there are LIV players right now watching every single move he makes. They're watching how he's treated. They're watching whether the penalties are worth it. They're watching whether the tour actually gives him a fair shot. And if this comeback works, if he wins again, if he gets into the majors, if the locker room continues to accept him, that becomes a blueprint, a roadmap for other former PGA Tour stars to follow home. The next 6 to 12 months won't just define Koepka's legacy. They could reshape professional golf entirely. So here's what I want to know from you, and this is a real question, not a throwaway one. Should the PGA Tour keep the same conditions for every LIV player who wants to return? Or should the terms change depending on how long they were gone, how much they said publicly, how big their name is? Leave your take in the comments. Seriously, the debate down there is always the best part. If you're not subscribed to Analysis PGA yet, do it now. Because the next chapter of this story, the one about which LIV names are quietly having conversations, that's coming very soon. And you do not want to miss it. Like the video if you got value from this. Subscribe if you want the real analysis. And I'll see you in the next one. Asterisk, the door is open. The question is, who's brave enough to walk through it next? Asterisk. Asterisk. One name keeps coming up in private conversations about the next LIV return. I'll have more on that very soon. Asterisk.